In this demonstration, we'll cover the creation of a website using Microsoft Expression Web. So the first thing we'll do is we'll load up Expression Web. And you're going to notice that it looks a little bit intimidating. There's a lot of information being thrown at you. So the first thing you're going to want to do is close down some of this information so you don't see it. So we'll have a more basic interface that we can work with. So there's these 4 different panels that are showing right now. We have the folder list panel, a tag properties panel, and over on the right hand side we have a toolbox and an apply styles panel. We can close these because we don't need them if this is just an introductory lesson. So we can close them by hitting the close button on each one of these panels. They're not lost. If you do want to reopen those panels, we can go up to the panels menu and turn these back on, and we'll close that one back down because we don't need it. But all the panels are located up here under the panels menu if you want to play around and see what else there's available. So to create a website, if you recall from the lesson, a website is comprised of one or more different web pages that are inside that website. We're going to create the site first, and then we're going to insert individual web pages inside that site. So we go up to the Site menu and we click New Site, and it's going to ask us what type of site we want to create. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to just start with a blank, pretty much a blank white web page. So we would choose General and a one-page site, and it's going to ask us where we want to save it to. In this case here, it's calling my website called My Site number 6, and it's saving it to the My Documents folder on my computer. If you're working in the computer labs, make sure you save this to your student network drive, otherwise you're going to lose it when you log out. So we'll leave it as its default location, and we'll leave it named My Site 6 and hit OK. So what it's done is it's created the website, and it's gone ahead and created one web page, and it's called it default.html. So if we double click on this, it's going to open it up in a new tab up here. So we can actually cycle between the site view, where we are just at, and the actual web page that we can actually start putting content in here. But before we do that, we're going to want to rename the default.html file to something else by right-clicking on it and choosing Rename. And we're going to call it, instead of default.html, we're going to call it index.html. And the reason for that is the computers at school will only run this one properly if you rename it as index.html. So if you're having a problem loading up your website, it could be because you didn't rename this file. It's going to confirm that we want to change the name of it, and we'll hit yes. So let's open up this index.html file. Now this is just our first page. We may have several different pages on our website, but a good idea is to have a default layout, and to save work we can create that layout once and we can copy it over to multiple different pages. So let's create the layout on this first site on the index.html web page, and then we'll copy that to new pages. So one of the easiest ways for a beginner to create a simple layout is to use a table. So if we go over here, and it's not showing on my screen because it's rather small, but you'll probably see it on yours at home. You won't have to click on this extension box here. We see table, insert table, and it's going to ask us how big we want it. So if we do say a 2x3 table, it's going to come up here. It looks kind of like Microsoft Word. This is a what you see is what you get editor. And if we wanted, say, a header, we can take these 2 different cells here, and let's just right click on that, and we'll go Cell Properties. Actually, no, we'll go up here to Modify and merge the cells together. So now we have one cell that acts as our header up at the top. We can do the same thing with the bottom 2 cells. So I'm going to select the 2 cells at the bottom, right click, go Modify, and we're going to merge those. And so this cell here can actually be our navigation area, and this can be our content. So let's just resize these to make them look right. So we select the whole table, and we're going to make that larger. We're going to make it the length of the page here, and in particular the top header might be a little bit narrower, and the footer might be narrow as well. and the navigation bar over on this side might be a little bit narrow. So in here we could put our header. Down here we can put our footer, and over here we can have our navigation bar, and this is where we put our content. So now that we've set up the structure of our website, we can go ahead and create several other web pages with the same structure. So to do that, first we're going to save this this web page. See the little star up here meaning it hasn't been saved yet. Let's just save that. Go back to the site view, right click on the index.html file that we just created, and click the new from existing page, and now it's going to create us another web page. It's called it Untitled 1 right now, but it's basically cloned the index.html, so now we have the same layout for both these pages. If you want to rename that, we can hit save, and we're going to name it, say it's going to be a page, a contact us page, how to contact your computer business, for example. Call it contact us, and then hit save. And now if you go back to the site view, you're going to see that the contactus.html web page is included within our site here. So this is how you basically you get up and running to start your first website. And if you go to the next demonstration, we'll actually start put some content inside the website itself.